Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Julianus. I've been wanting to make this video and I've been delaying it, I guess. Yesterday was my late wife's birthday, and funnily enough I saw a video about Mr. Beast talking about death, and I was just I'm going to make this video. I can't hold back on it. I think we all have a unique way to view death. Every culture and every single person have its own views about death, and we all have loved ones that passed away. And I don't know about other cultures, but as a Mexican, we embrace death, and we have been close to death for thousands of years. Before the Spaniards and before the colonialism, the Native Americans or the Native Mexicans were very close and fond with death. And it has evolved in a way, some of you might understand what I'm talking about, you know, Day of the Dead. Maybe you've seen movies or the movie Coco from Disney. We Mexicans are not afraid of death. We still love and cherish and remember our loved ones. And there's a special day that we celebrate them. You know, we make them an altar and we put pictures of our loved ones, and we cook or put some representations of the things they liked and that they'd enjoyed in this physical world. And I think Mexicans are really fearless in a way. And before, when I was a teenager, I was dealing with a lot of things mentally, and I was a depressive person, a high-functioning depressive person, and I was going through a lot of things in my mind back then. So if you would have asked me back then if I was afraid to die, I wasn't. I was prepared to die. You know, I in some way I wish I could have, you know, disappeared from this world. Back then I was depressive. I thought this world was really dark and evil, and there were a lot of bad people and bad things going on. And I still do believe that, but now I see the beauty in the world. You know, I am more hopeful. I learned about life and enjoying it in a different way. Let me just play so you can understand, and I can just talk further about this topic.
By the way, yes, it's hard because what if you just die and then you just see nothing forever? It just fades to blackness, and you're just like that for trillions upon trillions to billions squared years, and it's scary. But also, before you're born, you don't remember those X amount of years either. So I'm kind of hopeful that someone like Elon, like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna figure out a way where we can slow down aging, get it where, you know, we can live to be 200-300 years old, and just like set their sights on that.
This one hit me because he says he's scared of dying. And like I said before, I wasn't scared of dying. I could have died and nothing could have changed, nothing could have happened. That was my thinking. But now I am terrified. I'm terrified of dying. Not because of confronting death. I'm terrified because I would be leaving my family, my babies. Just having the idea of disappearing and leaving my babies in this world by themselves without their father to protect them, that just terrifies me. You know, they need me, I need them. They give my life meaning. I want to see them. I've enjoyed every single aspect in the life, you know, babies, changing diapers, watching them develop and grow and have, you know, develop their own personalities. And I want to see them to grow old and mature and become beautiful people, to see them flourish. So that's what I'm afraid of, you know, to just being, you know, I don't know, just not being here anymore. Mr. Beast says something really interesting, that he wonders if there's something else, you know, if we die and that's it, we disappear. I used to think that as well. I don't believe that anymore. And I will share why. Something happened to me really, really special. My wife passed away, and it was extremely difficult, really, really hard. That year was really difficult for me to sleep, to go to bed and sleep. Probably for 4 months in a row, it was very hard for me to sleep. I had to portray a certain image. I had to be a man into the world and for my kids. But at night, I was by myself. I was alone, there, in silence, with my thoughts and with my grief, feeling this hole in my body. I was probably going to bed, like actually sleeping probably at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and I had to wake up at 7 a.m. And that was for the first 4 months. Until I was like, this is enough, I have to do something. And I did a bit of research, and I asked for help. And I learned I tried to do meditation, and it helped a little bit until the 7th day. A week went by, and I was just with my eyes closed in the dark, silence in the room with my thoughts. And that day I was just crying, thinking out loud. And I was thinking to myself, and I asked my wife, is this it? Did you just die? Did you just disappear? Why are you still here with us? Are you still here with me? In a way, energy, matter, I don't know. And I was asking for an answer. And I asked her, hey, are you here still with me? Will I ever see you again? If I die, will I see you again? Because I want to. And I was there with my eyes closed in the dark, thinking something was going to happen really corny and cheesy, like in the movies, like a book's going to fall, or something's going to squeak, or something's going to make a noise. And I was there probably for a whole minute and silent, waiting for an answer. And out of nowhere, an owl hooted, woo, woo, woo. And I immediately opened my eyes, and I knew that was my sign. That was my answer. And some of you will be like, how do you know that was your wife? How do you know that's the answer? You wanted to believe that was your wife, or that was the answer that you were asking for. It's valid, but no, I have 3 reasons why. Number 1, I've never, in my almost 5 years that I was in California, I never heard an owl before. Not during the day, not during the night. I think it was 12:30, and I've never heard an owl before until that day. And the second reason is because my wife was a landscape designer, and she partnered with some guy she would design gardens and landscapes, and this person would build them exactly like she designed them. So they would work. They were like a great partnership. So they partnered, and they wanted to expand the brand and have like a bigger company, not just like landscapers or landscape designers. So we were looking for buildings in order for her to have the company there and sell plants and building materials and irrigation systems and everything that she needed for her gardens and for her designs. She wanted to have like consignment sales, art, clothing, like a huge idea, and she could have made it happen. She was really, really smart, and she knew how to network with people, and I believed in her. And so we were looking and searching for buildings, and we found one building that it was just perfect for this whole idea. One day that we went to visit this building, it was a huge property. It was the building and some space for parking and for putting multiple like bark and DG and dirt, and then there was like a storage, like a big storage, like a warehouse. So we went into the warehouse, and in this warehouse was living, or we saw an owl. It was like a barn owl, and we went in. We saw the bird, and it was flying. He saw us, and then he flew around, and then it left the building. But when he left, the bird dropped a feather. And my wife was like, "Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign." And I was the only one that noticed the feather, so I picked it up and I saved it. I still have it. It's this one. When she saw me picking it up, she was like, "Whoa, that's definitely a good sign. That's a good omen." But again, we never heard owls before. We didn't hear owls before that event, and we didn't hear owls after that event. And then third, my wife, when she was younger and she was living with her father, they found a barn owl, a baby one, and they dropped it and they kept it. And they built this huge cage. It was like a huge room, so he or she could live in there. And it had mesh around it and trunks, wooden trunks and beams. So the bird could be there. And my wife with her father taught the bird how to fly and how to hunt until the bird grew older. And it was a beautiful bird. She showed me pictures about the bird. They created such a strong bond together that my wife would come in, she would grab the owl, and she would walk with the owl into the country. And she would direct the owl in order for the bird to fly and hunt by itself. And she used to tell me this story, and it was just lovely to hear. She was a great storyteller until one day somebody opened the cage or the house of this bird, and the bird escaped and never came back. But she was sad, obviously, because she created this bond, but she was sure that the bird was fine because the bird knew how to hunt by itself. So when this happened to me, and I heard the owl for the first time, and after asking this question, I was like, that's her, that's my sign, that's my answer. She's still here, and we will meet again. The idea of dying and seeing her energy and seeing her again is just very, very special to me, and I look forward to that. But I still need to be here for my kids. And that helped me, that helped me a lot. Having that answer kind of eased my emotions and my states of mind and my life. I was just like, okay, I just need to focus on myself in order to get ahead in life for my kids, for my family, because if I'm not right, they won't be, they will suffer. So I need to be right, so in order to provide and be strong for them, so they can have a good, happy life. I just wanted to share that with you. If you believe it or not, if you believe me or not, I'm not religious. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in heaven or hell. But I believe in my wife. I believe in this sign, This, I believe, I can. And I don't want to offend anybody who are religious and believe in God. Go ahead. Those are your beliefs. I'm not shitting on you. But I also ask you to respect my beliefs. I'm not religious, and I won't be. I just wanted to share this story, and for those of you that are hopeful and about this romanticism and believe about true love, or even if you are curious about death and what's out there, about the afterlife, that was the answer I was looking for, and I cherish this moment. I hope you enjoyed the video. subscribe to the channel. And if you have like a similar experience, I would love to read your comments. Take care.